Hello and welcome back to the Lucas Narration channel. I hope you're doing well. Today, we've got two intense and not-so-pleasant tales to explore from the RelationshipAdvice subreddit. If you enjoy Reddit stories, why not show some love by hitting the like button, subscribing, and maybe even ringing that notification bell? It truly goes a long way in supporting the channel. Now, let's dive into today's narratives. So, our first story is from a Reddit user who goes by the name MacBook. She posted her story on the RelationshipAdvice subreddit to ask the online community for their opinions about her greedy friend and the dramatic situation she found herself in. She says, "Sat down on my friend's MacBook and broke it, offered to pay her the money for it, but now she wants more because she was upgrading anyway, so it's this or she will sue me in small claims court. I had some of my friends over at my house and one of my friends invited one of her other friends to come over. She had her MacBook on my couch when I sat on it and broke it. Since it was completely my fault, I offered to pay her the money for it and she agreed. She got it 3 years ago and it cost $2,200 at the time. I told her I'd wire you the money in a week to her bank account. She's now emailed me saying that as per our conversation, she's expecting the $2,700 that I have agreed for. I didn't know why she added the extra money, so I got her number from my friend and called her to find her, telling me she's now expecting me to pay for her new upgraded MacBook since she was upgrading anyway. She said if I don't agree to do that, she'll be suing me in small claims court. Can a judge agree to that? Should I wire her the $2,200 or should I just tell her go sue me? I can't believe Opie's friend changed her mind after she agreed to the deal with Opie. I'm wondering if she came home and found out that her MacBook was broken by someone else, which made her couldn't work for a while and she deserved an extra fee. Let's check out what people think in the comments section below. We're starting with one comment from one Reddit user, Repook21, who says, "Opie is a treasure. They took full responsibility for something that wasn't entirely their fault and was willing to make it right within minutes or seconds. Then recognized their goodwill was being taken advantage of and stood their ground. Excellent outcome. Hopefully the friend is no longer around. Quite shitty behavior." Immediately, another Redditor named Lionel Skeggins agreed, saying, "Exactly. OOP was way too nice offering the $2,200 initially." Another Reddit user named Scrubiousness, "I can't imagine doing that for a friend of a friend in my house. Like, you chose to come, to bring your laptop, and to put your laptop in a seat. I'm really sorry about your screen, bro, and I'll help you out, but forking over $2,000 plus for sitting down in my own home? Laugh out loud." Then another Redditor agreed, saying, "Agreed, I am glad it went to court because I knew the laptop owner had liability in this for leaving the laptop in a bad spot. I think it is crazy to compensate someone $2,200 for electronics a few years later when they depreciate so fast. This is why I was hard on my kids with tablets to never set them anywhere but their laps or a table. They still have all their tablets with no cracks. Their cousin's laptop did not last 2 years, the time it took to pay it off, and you can guess why." Redditor K-Mans Galore also states, "I love when people file stupid suits and the outcomes work out like this. Not only did she stupid her way out of $2,000, but she's also stuck with the court fees. LOL, sucks to suck." Redditor with an account Unite Thegic Economy says that, "I think it's crazy that they offered to even pay $2,200. I would have offered to cover repair only. I wouldn't have even accepted $2,200, let alone demand more money. What a selfish brat." That attitude aside, I wonder what she intended to tell the judge that would justify getting more than the value of the item. Update. I went through every single comment from the 200+ ones and I sincerely thank each and every one of you. I did some research specifically for repairing the screen for the MacBook, and for her particular model it's around $310 for the screen plus the labor cost, so I wrote her back saying that since she didn't accept my initial offer of $2,200, I'm withdrawing that offer and offering to pay for the repair cost. She sent me an email calling me a bitch and that she's going to take me to court. I got served a few days later and went to court. I told the judge I gave her 3 options to choose from. 1. Either to write her a check for a brand new one, which was $2,200. 2. Get her a refurbished one from Apple or a third party or even used, which would be around $1,400. Or 3. Fix her current MacBook since the screen is the only thing affected here and it would cost around $300 plus money for labor. I printed out the email I sent her and the mail she sent back refusing, demanding the $2,700 and calling me a bitch and saying we'll go to court, plus screenshots for the price quotes from different websites for a new/refurbished and the screen fix for her particular model, and gave it to the judge. I also told him that when I offered at the very beginning to get her a new one from the Apple store, she said no, I want the money in cash. When I told her I'd give her $2,200 for a new one, she said okay, but later came asking for $2,700 because she wants to upgrade. I tried to show him how it's clearly visible that she's trying to take advantage of me. She gave the judge an attitude almost the whole time, which really pissed the judge off and helped my case, I guess. After listening to both of us, he ruled that I pay 50% of the repair costs since she negligently left her laptop on the couch. So I'll only be paying not more than $200 to $250 for the whole thing. If it weren't for you guys, I would have paid $2,200 instead of around $200, and I honestly loved her look at the end as we walked out. It's truly satisfying to see justice prevail in this story. Opie went above and beyond to offer fair and reasonable solutions to her friend who seemed intent on taking advantage of the situation. The fact that the judge saw through the friend's greed and ruled in favor of a more reasonable payment based on the negligence involved is a testament to the importance of honesty and fairness. And now let's see what people think when hearing the Opie's update. A Redditor named Aggravated Asphalt expresses her excitement when seeing the result. "Aw, I love to see it. I hate entitled people so much. Should have just taken the $2,200 LOL. Redditor Never Sober also shared his thoughts, saying, "Way to go, team. Imagine having the gall to think the full cost replacement in cash wasn't enough because the newer versions cost more. It's like, that would be such a big advantage on getting the newest version. I feel like Macs end up aging rapidly, so third year on the model could be nearing its end. OOP was too kind at first, but you gotta love stories like this where the ruling is fair and karma comes around." When another Redditor Rickentwalkros feels satisfied with the story. "I'm glad you only paid $200, that's fucking awesome. But I do wonder about whoever invited her, must have really low standards of friendship." A Redditor named Asshole2323 share his own story. "I've had friends that didn't even say sorry after breaking my shit, and one roommate that let her dog piss in my room on my effing $2,000 Louis Vuitton, and when confronted goes, 'You should have closed your door, this is your problem.' I didn't ask her to pay, I asked her to keep her dog out of my room and her not to go in because I always shut the door." What do you think about this situation? We'd love to hear your thoughts. So drop them in the comments section below. And if you enjoyed today's Reddit stories, why not consider hitting the like, subscribing, and turning on the notification bell too, as it will alert you when I return with another story. And now see you in the next one. Let's plunge into another intriguing story we've got lined up for today, titled, "My husband got a paternity test on our daughter, 5F, and it came back negative. Update. I don't know how it happened and I haven't been able to stop crying all day. I never cheated. I love my husband, we've been together since college and he's the love of my life. He's handsome and kind, and while I've slept with 2 other people, both were before we got together. There is no other potential father for our daughter. We were married already and actively trying for a baby. I never cheated, I never would cheat, and I don't know why he took that stupid test because I would never, ever cheat, but it came back negative and now he thinks he's not her dad. I don't know how to convince him it was a faulty test and I'm so scared. These past few months it's like he's become someone completely different from the man I married. He's cold and suspicious. He kept demanding to see my phone and wouldn't tell me why, and I showed him at first but eventually told him I wouldn't anymore unless he explained why. He's been distant with our daughter too. He stays in his office for hours on end and I don't know what he's doing. I did not cheat. He accused me this morning, saying he'd done the test after realizing that our daughter's eyes, brown, wouldn't naturally come from ours, both blue, and that he wanted me to get out of the house. I didn't leave and he locked me out of our bedroom and now I'm in my daughter's room. This is terrifying. What should I do? Edit. The specific advice I want is how I can prove I'm innocent and how to make sure this relationship works. I want to keep my family together at all costs. Also, I just had a conversation with my husband. He's out of his room now and we discussed some things. I told him again that I would never cheat and started talking about a list I made of tests I want done, but he told me that he didn't want to hear it right now. We're going to have a longer conversation tomorrow and he said that he still loves our daughter and he won't try to keep me out of the house or our room for now. I asked him to hug me and he did. I'm scared that I won't be able to convince him. I just want our family to go back to normal. How can I be a good wife and support his needs while proving my innocence? Too long, didn't read. My husband confronted me this morning saying our daughter isn't biologically his after a failed paternity test, but I never cheated. A Redditor named McMurmel shared her opinion about the story, saying, "Get DNA for all 3 of you in case the hospital switched babies. Make sure she is yours well. That sounds crazy, but it could happen. Use a different reputable company. Do not tell them anything. And another Redditor Kevin_R13 gave OP some advice, read. Test yourself, your baby, and your husband. And if your baby was conceived naturally, no big deal, but if it was not and there were medical procedures involved, you might need to look into the clinic that's doing it as well. Don't bother trying to convince your husband until you get these tests done. Let him wallow in his truth and then see if your evidence can prove your case or not. If it does, then at least you have something to show him that maybe his procedure or testing place was at least wrong or questionable. If your test confirms that he's not the father and it might even confirm that you're not the mother, then you also have other things that you can discover and pursue. Meanwhile, a Redditor named Janite84 provided her views over the story. Either A. He's lying and possibly faking the test results, most likely because he's cheating and/or trying to leave you. B. You're lying. C. The test results were mixed up or there was a serious error somewhere. Immediately, a person named Candy as101 agreed. Exactly. Stop looking for approval and forgiveness from your husband when there is a very real chance he is making this up. Stop freaking out, keep calm. Go get a test done ASAP on all of you. Stop trying to hang on tighter to your hubby, you need to focus on yourself and your child. While you are focused on him, he may be actively screwing you. You didn't cheat. Either she isn't your kid or he is lying. Do not look to him, just get the test. After a prolonged absence that left readers eagerly anticipating, he returned with a determination to update the unfolding narrative. Hi everyone. First off, I wanted to thank everyone who reached out. My original post got so much attention it was hard to get to everything, but I ended up making a list of plans and tests I wanted to get done. My husband was, understandably, distrustful of me for a while, but he apologized for the way he acted, which I didn't need, and said that he wouldn't try to kick me out of our home. He did say, though, that if every test came back and I cheated, then he was going to go scorched earth. We did a few tests. Blood paternity tests for him and me and our daughter, and we had an appointment with a chimerism specialist coming up, but that got canceled because, well, some of you guessed it, but my daughter is not biologically mine either. I don't know how this happened, but a police officer came to our house and took our statements, and we're suing the hospital where I gave birth. I don't know what happened to my baby, and that is terrifying. I have my husband back, but my whole world was still upended and I just wish he'd never taken that stupid test. I've been sleeping in my daughter's room and I'm so afraid that she's going to be taken away from me, but at the same time I want to know where my biological daughter is and if she's okay. I pray to God she's okay. My daughter still doesn't know the details and we've been trying to keep this quiet. The last thing we need is a big scandal. I don't want people who know us to look at her differently. She deserves better than that. She's such a good kid and she's not some spectacle to be gawked at. If we can find her birth family, I have no idea what we'll do. I guess the best case scenario would be to get a bigger house and all live together, but I don't know if we can afford that or if they go for that or even if we'll be able to locate them or if I'm just crazy. This whole situation is crazy. I don't know anyone else who's been in a situation like this. I mean, are there support groups for parents of kids who got mixed up? I googled and nothing came up. Literally all I'm getting are tabloid articles from trashy magazines that slap the faces of innocent kids on the same pages as celebrity sex scandals and fiction. How do we tell our daughter? I mean, we can't tell her now, she'll tell the kids at school and then it'll be everywhere, but we have to say something. I don't know what I ever did to deserve this. Too long, didn't read. My daughter is not biologically mine or my husband's. Here is the honest reaction from a Redditor named Swanky Celery when updating the story. What the fuck? This is not the update I expected, not in a million years. And another Redditor Aiken42 replied, what a nightmare. Love the child you have but need to know where your biological baby is. At the same time, there is other family with a ticking time bomb that they don't even know about. A Redditor with account Dro120 shared his story. This is why when my daughter was born 4 months ago, me, my wife, and the baby each had matching bracelets put on by the hospital immediately. The baby actually had 3. 1 tied to her medical records for medication and 2 identifying ones, 1 on the wrist and 1 on the leg. She also never left the room without one of us. Hospital took this very seriously. Oh, another Reddit came to clarify. Before my kids had fully taken their first breath, they had a sticker glued to their leg with mom's information. One was a C-section and, I shit you not, the sticker person was hovering right next to the bed ready to slap that thing on the second the baby was pulled out. None of the babies left the room until both of us plus the nurse checked bands and stickers to ensure they matched. The stickers are skin-safe, adhesive, and waterproof. They didn't peel off until almost 2 weeks later after we oiled the bejesus out of them. I guess it prevents bands from falling off or being cut off. Also, there's an electronic chip that got clamped onto their umbilical cord stump. It would set off an alarm if the baby passed through any exit door on the floor. Apparently, our hospital is serious about security. OOP's husband stumbles upon quite a few comments about himself that are not exactly nice. He later reached out to ask for a chance to share his side of the story on this account, hoping the people will stop trashing him, so please be nice. So, I don't know how many of you have been down a self-doubt rabbit hole before, but it's not the most logical place to be. It's even less logical when you have the whole damn internet telling you that your wife is cheating and that she's planning to take the house and take you for all you're worth and never really loved you, and you always sorta thought she was too good for you anyway. So you end up seeing everything as a sign of infidelity, and then you get not one, but 2 failed paternity tests on your daughter. When COVID happened, I got fat. I got depressed. I stopped feeling like a person. My wife stayed beautiful. She stayed herself. I was sure that she'd made a mistake, that she'd regret being with me. I started getting into some online groups, especially on Reddit, that were full of guys who'd been cheated on, lost custody, lost everything, and when someone said that his tip-off was that he and his wife both had blue eyes and their son had brown, I felt fucking stupid. I did not want to jump to conclusions, but when I made a post about my fears, everyone said that she was cheating. People said not to say anything because she'd use it to hide her cheating and get ahead of me on the divorce. I got the test and I didn't really think it'd come back negative. Then it did. I didn't want to believe it, but yeah, I pulled back. I felt betrayed. I wanted to be a good husband, but I couldn't shake this. I tried to find evidence of an affair and failed. I got another test. When that one was also negative, I snapped. If you've ever been cheated on, you know what it feels like. When my wife denied it, I got angrier. I just wanted her to leave. I didn't want to go through what everyone seemed to think was going to happen. I didn't want to lose custody of my kid. I didn't want to lose my house. I was scared and angry, and I wanted the truth. I felt like if she couldn't even be honest, there was no getting past this. I took a few hours to calm down. When she came back with a list of tests to take, I tried to keep my cool. I tried to keep my cool for so long. I know I was wrong about the affair, but so was everyone else in my ear. My kid is genuinely not biologically mine. I didn't immediately consider that switched at birth was an option. I've been through a messed up time, and I don't think getting angry one time because I thought my wife cheated and was lying about it makes me a monster. Hi, it's Fully Faithful Wife here again. I just want to say that one. I agree that he's not a monster, an abuser, or anything of the sort. 2. I do not agree that he's fat. I love this man very much and have for ages, and we are not going to let this situation break our marriage. Thank you to everyone for all your help. This story is a powerful reminder of the dangers of falling into the self-doubt rabbit hole, especially when influenced by external voices. The emotional toll of suspicion and the subsequent shock of discovering a paternity mismatch understandably led to intense reactions. A Redditor named Red_Earaches expresses his emotion when seeing the whole story. What a nightmare. How on earth can this happen in this day and age? Another Redditor named I am not a person sorry shared sympathy with OP's family. That is devastating in such an awful, awful way. These poor people. And an account with the name Guab07 says, that was the worst possible update, what the actual fug. As we wrap up today's episode, the couple in our story faces the challenge of a negative paternity test. The path ahead remains uncertain and decisions loom large. We wish them the best of luck and hope that sharing their journey brings them understanding and support. Until next time, take care and be kind to one another. We're eager to hear your take on this situation, so feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. If you like today's Reddit stories, show some love by hitting the like button, subscribing, and turning on the notification bell. I'll make sure you don't miss out when I come back with another story. See you in the next one.